All right, welcome out, football fans, to another episode of the Gridiron 64 podcast. Hey, we're excited tonight because we're going to be talking playoffs, first round of the playoffs, something we've been waiting for since the season started. And so we're excited to talk about football playoffs. But before we get started with all that, I want to introduce my crew. Everybody is in full effect to talk first round of the playoffs. We got the coach, Steve Cantu. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, I'm blessed, brother. Happy to be here.
Got the Z-Man, Johnny Zavala. Z-Man, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
And then Big T, he's feeling a lot better today. He's ready to talk football. Tony Pena, how you doing, Tony?
Oh man, I'm doing good, ready to get it going.
And then, of course, I'm your host, Gabriel Trevino. But, of course, Big T's the one that leads us in the Gridiron 64. So we're going to break down Week 11, which was the last game of the regular season last week. So we'll kind of go through those kind of quickly. If we have anything to say, we'll say it. And then, of course, once we're done with that, then we'll preview the first round of the playoffs of the GI64 schedule. So we've got about 20-something, 21, 22 games to preview. So I'm going to pass it over to T. He's going to lead us tonight. He'll start off with the breakdown, and then, of course, we'll do the preview. Take it away, Big T.
All right. So again, we're previewing week 11. Breaking down week 11. And I don't know if y'all remember the beginning of the season, we had a little competition between the four of us, and at the end of this, I'll let y'all know how each of us fared on that. So first game that we wanted to talk about from last week was the Rockport-Fulton Port Isabel game. In this game, Rockport took the win 69-34. This is a game that neither team really had to win. Both teams were already in the playoffs. Each of them goes in. Rockport goes in 9-1, and Port Isabel goes in 8-2. Johnny, you want to elaborate on anything on this game?
The only thing I want to say is it's real impressive that Rockport scored 40 points between the second and third quarter. Pretty well put it away in between those two quarters, and there was no catching up for Port Isabel on that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I thought they did very well. Scoring 40 points in the first half. I mean, we seen them, against West also. They it was kind of a little bit tough. It was 38-28 or something like that. So for them to score 40 points in the first half was pretty good. Steve?
Yeah, no, yeah, I was glad we got the win. I was, just impressed, man, by Ace Seibert and the passing attack last week. Him and Ricky Franks were really clicking on all cylinders, and we'll get back to a whole lot more of that, right? We're coming back to that later. No, this is it. This is it, huh?
This is it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I just want to just shine some light, man. Give some recognition to Ricky Franks. We were, unfortunately, with everything that was going on that night, the senior walks and it being, really, lots of families and stuff right there. We didn't do any after the game interviews, although obviously Ricky Franks and Jay Seibert, A. Seibert were definitely tops on our list for the excellent game that they all had. But other than that, I mean, great job by the Rockport Pirates and the great offensive put out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good game going into first week of playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, I know we talked about his 200 and something yards passing that he had last week. I just want to mention that he only had 9 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
7 completions. 7 of those were completions, and 5 of those were touchdowns. So that was super impressive for over 200 yards passing. That was super impressive. Gabriel?
And Ricky Franks only 5 receptions and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he had over 200 yards receiving. So it was a great night for both of them. Absolutely, Steve. Gabriel?
I'll go on the defensive side. I like the adjustments that we made. We saw Port Isabel come out and kind of hit us, really kind of shocked us. I think it shocked the players and the fans, because we hadn't seen anybody score on us like that first play, man, and they take it deep, right? So I like the adjustments that were made at halftime. We came out, we talked with Coach. We had Coach Busak on The defensive line coach adjustments they made were really good. They were really able to shut down Port Isabel pretty much. But if I had a little concern, it would be about the penalties. I think we need to clean that up. You know, we were able to, with the penalties that we had, and I know there becomes some aggression. You know, we're playing really hype, but I was a little concerned about the penalties that we received in that game. Of course, we were able to overcome it, but we can't be doing that in the playoffs. I think because, of course, it'll be tighter games, and those penalties could decide whether we get the W or the L. So, outside of the penalties, man, I thought the adjustments that we made when Port Isabel came out with a good game plan, we were able to make, and we were able to shut them down. And that's something I think we're going to need to continue to do as we get into tomorrow, the first round of playoffs. But other than that, offense, you guys covered it, man. Great job by Ace and our offense, man. They were clicking.
Johnny, you didn't give me that stat, Johnny? That penalty stat?
No.
No. Yeah. Sometime between now and the end of the playoffs, we need to get that penalty stat to see how we stack up versus our opponents. Because I feel like not trying to be a fan, but I feel like we got a lot more penalties than every team that we played against.
I feel the same way. I do.
The next game we have Orange Grove going into Aransas Pass, and they take the win 50-6. Johnny, you have anything to elaborate on this game?
No, this was no surprise to me. We saw what AP had, and Orange Grove, playing pretty decent this year, so it was not a shock on this one at all.
Absolutely. And Cutter Stewart is a senior this year, right?
He's a junior.
Junior.
Oh, he's a junior. Oh, wow. So he still got another year too. Awesome. Steve, you want to elaborate on this game?
Yeah, well, I just want to throw Cutter's stats out. He had a pretty good season. 141 for 141 completions for 291 attempts. Just under 1,700 yards with 12 touchdowns, and I'm sure this is something that he'd want to clean up. He had 7 INTs this year. I'm sure he'll clean it up. But great win. I'm saying 50-0 going into the first week of the playoffs. Should have those guys momentum picked up, and they should fare well. I think they have Bishop
next week.
London.
No, they're playing. No, they're playing London. Yeah. No, they're not playing.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a good game. We'll talk about that one a little bit later.
It is.
I don't think so.
Gabriel, do you want to elaborate on that game?
No, just real quick, just Aransas Pass. I know it was a hard season. They're our neighbors right here down the street. I know we play against them, but we also cheer them on. Just a hard season. New coach coming in. It's hard, but they, stuck with it. And hopefully next year, I just wish them, they get back. They, get this off season, get it straightened out, and win some ball games next year. I want them to go 0-10 again. But again, just kind of wanted to send that out, man. We definitely support those Panthers. They're just down the street from us.
Absolutely. Let's see. It looks like Orange Grove. You said he has 7 interceptions?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the season?
Yeah, for the season, 7 INTs.
Yeah, and three of them were against the Sinton Pirates in week 1. So
wow,
not too bad when you take that away. I mean, Sinton's a tough team. Next game we have the King Mustangs taking on the Carroll Tigers, and this was a game as close as I thought it would be. King gets the win, 27-21. Johnny.
Yeah, this is the one I said I was picking King, and I was rooting for Carroll though. But hey, they fought in there. They kept in there. They almost had it, but next year, Carroll, next year.
Yeah. Steve, what about you? You want to elaborate on this game?
Yeah, just real quick. I picked Carroll on this one too. I was hoping for an upset, and I almost pulled it off, man. Definitely, Carroll's going to need to work on some defense next year, man. They gave up 478 total points this year. So, I'm sure the coaches will, have already hit the off season pretty hard and preparation for next year, and see if they can get Carroll back on track out there. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be looking at him next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And another team that went 0-10 on the season, and like Gabriel said, I mean, we started Gridiron in right around 2 days, and we talked about how hard players work in the off season, and doing the 7-on-7 and going to camps and stuff like that, and when they go out there and they work hard, 4 days a week and lose every game on Friday night. It's tough. It's really tough. I mean, Johnny, I know you played football, and yeah, I don't know if you ever had a losing season like that. I never did when I played, but I just can't imagine, you know, uh, going to practice every day and not winning a game, and it's got to be tough on those kids. But my hat's off to those guys that stayed on that team and stuck by their coach and showed up every Friday to be competitive. Hats off to the Carroll Tigers. Gabriel?
No, Tony, just better season, like I said about Aransas. It's tough, man. I hope that they can turn it around. Not just Carroll, but Ray as well, King as
Mm-hmm.
well. These man, back about 10 years ago, man, these teams were competitive down there. I mean, King, I remember they were going 2 rounds into the playoffs. Ray was
Carroll?
going 2 rounds into the playoffs. Carroll. So it's not just about Carroll. It's about the corporate schools being more competitive. Ray and Moody is getting there again, and King, just getting these guys getting in the playoffs. They all can't get in the playoffs, but being more competitive throughout the regular season. I'd like to see that next year. And I know that they're working hard, but it'd be nice. Miller's, down into the 4A. They're definitely been doing good. But I'd like to see these other three schools get up in there, be more competitive. So we'll see what happens next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next game we have
Mhm.
the Tuloso-Midway Warriors going down to Alice to face the Coyotes. In this game, the Alice takes the win, 35-16 over the Warriors. Johnny?
Oh, damn, I'm trying to read my chicken scratches here. Oh, I wanted to shine a little light on the quarterback, Josh Camarillo,
Yeah, Camarillo.
going
Mario?
18 for 30 in the air, 297 yards, and 3 touchdown passes. Uh, Alice pretty much, I mean, this was a tight game. I don't know if y'all are keeping up with this one. This was pretty tight at the beginning, and it was like, his team going to, hang with them. But Alice scored 22 points in that second quarter to put this game away. So this was Alice's surprisingly first district win and only district win of the season.
Wow. Wow. Steve?
Hey man, early on, I was watching that as close and picked them quite a bit there in the beginning of the season. They had a tough season. They didn't get as many district wins as they want, but they played tough, man. You know what I'm saying? They only lost by 4 to Miller. They only lost by 4 points to Beeville, which what I'm saying, they probably should have won that one. And I mean, they scored 46 points against Calhoun. I'm saying, I mean, the talent's there. I just think they probably need another off season, and Alice is gonna bounce back, man. I really do think those guys got a good program down there, and their pride's not gonna allow them to have another poor district play. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how close them, they're still L's, but I thought they fought tough this year, and I look for them to bounce back as well. I hate to keep saying that, but I really do believe it. Against Alice, I think that they're close. You know what I'm saying? They're close. They got a great defense, so when you got a great defense, man, it's just getting that offense in tune, and they'll win more games next year. I guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. Alice, we've seen Alice in the preseason many times here in Rockport, and they're always competitive, and they're usually, I mean, they squeak into the playoffs pretty much every year. And last year I think they only played like 2 or 3 games, but it was enough to get into the playoffs last year. So I don't think they like sitting out this season. So I absolutely believe you. I think that they're gonna do a lot better next year. Gabriel?
I like both of these teams, TM and Alice. For me this year, I didn't think that TM. I think they had a first-year coach wasn't going to make the playoffs. I think they got to, give them time to put the system in. But TM has always been in that district with Calallen and Calhoun. It seems like they're always in a tough district with Alice. And even when Beeville had, was top notch. They've always been. They've never, to me, TM's never gotten a break. They've always been in that tough district. It's really hard for them to try to get into the playoffs every year. So I thought they were going to struggle this year again. We'll see what this coach can do. First year, I think this year we'll see with a pull-off season, see what he can do and what TM will do next year. For Alice, I was very surprised that they didn't make the playoffs. I had them picked. I know a little bit about their coach. He's a damn good coach out there in Alice. They got the support from the community, and they came out real good in week one. So not sure exactly what happened. Didn't watch any of their games live, but I got to be with Steve on this one. They'll be back next year. There's a good bunch of kids out there. Football's big down there in Dallas. So I don't see them having another season like they did. But I sure like to know what happened, man, because I had them picked. It's got to be a disappointing season for both teams, right? But especially for Alice, who had high expectations after not playing the year before because of COVID and making the playoffs, having a full season to start this year and not making the playoffs and just getting one district win it can't be a good feeling out there. And I guarantee them coaches are gonna be busting butt this offseason to make sure that don't happen again. So I'm looking forward to having Alice in the playoffs next year.
Unless they're in our district, then I don't.
Right. There's that. You're right. There's that realignment. You never know what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
The realignment.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, next game that we have is a really maybe I might want to touch on this one a little bit more. This was a game that could have really blown up in our district here in 4A Division Two, because it was a close game. We have the Sinton Pirates come into Ingleside where they take the win 30-13. Now I know the score shows that they won by 2 touchdowns. Right, that did my math right? Yeah, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I know the score shows that they won by 2 touchdowns. But this game was 10-7 at halftime, and in this game, Ingleside had the lead for the whole first quarter, and actually most of after talking to Coach Hamrick last night, most of the second quarter until Sinton uh, scores on defense, on a fluke play. So really close game. The Ingleside Mustangs fought real hard, but Sinton and Rene Galvan and Sinton and his Pirates, they found a way to win, and they did. Johnny, you want to elaborate on this one?
Yeah, I didn't get to see what happened on that pick six. I never saw the highlight for it or whatever. What happened on that? I didn't get that.
He said
He said he pulled it out of his receiver's hands. He went up for it and just pulled it, kind of like what he said, kind of like what Ricky did. That's what he said. Kind of like what Franks did to
Oh,
us.
okay, yeah,
That's what he did.
Yeah.
But his was 80 yards. It was an 80-yard touchdown. So it was crazy.
That's huge, man. You did. That's a momentum change right there.
That changed the momentum of the game.
So like during our game, I was low on my battery on my phone, so I was like, I wanted to tune into that game so bad, but I was like, man, I want to save my battery. So like, I saw it was 10-7 still, and I was all like, no, it was, what was it? And
it was 13. It was 13-10. And the fourth, it was 13-10. Ingleside took the lead back. It was 13-10 the whole third quarter. They got the lead.
13-10. So I think it was.
But Sinton scored 14 points in the fourth.
Yeah, I happened to turn it on their YouTube, and right when I turn it on, there goes Renee, 85-yard, untouched, dude, untouched. Nobody touched him. I know he said last night somebody bounced off. That dude just quarterback option keep to the left side. The dude was gone. It's like that's a clutch player right there. When a player is going to succeed, when a player is going to win big, they're going to come back. They're going to come out where the time really comes out. He can have his 300 yards rushing, 400 yards rushing, but clutch time, Renee just happened to do that. And just something that he does over there, and when he busted that, I was all like, no way. So I turned my phone back off. I turned it back on. All of a sudden, I see Sinton have the ball again. So I don't know what happened between them on that kickoff. I don't know what went on, but it's just like Ingleside fell apart. They didn't finish off the game like they should have.
Yeah.
Sitting with that Renee's long run sealed the game. That was it. That took the blow out of their eye. And like I said, I don't know how Sinton got the ball right back again right away. And you just got to finish off a game like that. You can't go against a big team, no matter how tight that game goes in the third quarter. You got to finish off that four.
Absolutely.
And then that worries me about Ingleside. Going into the playoffs, can they finish off the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
That's my only concern with them.
Yeah, and Coach Hamrick, he elaborated on that. He said that's the thing that they need to work on is finishing a game. He said that himself. He was honest about that. But he said they had a lot of turnovers in the red zone that really hurt them. That they really shot themselves in the foot more than once. So for the game to be that close, I mean, like I said, hats off to the Mustangs. But yeah, you got to finish the game. I mean, they had the lead for most of this game, first quarter, most of the second quarter. They get behind in the end of the second quarter, and then they take the lead back in the third quarter, and they kept the lead the whole third quarter. And then Sin scores 14 points in the fourth. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Steve?
Well, I mean, I'll talk about what Coach elaborated about yesterday here in a bit. You know what I'm saying? But Sinton's a great team, man. They Coach said this. That team, and we're not talking about the school. He's talking about the actual players. You know what I'm saying? That team's been involved in 6 playoff games in the past few seasons. So they're prepared for stuff like that. Those tight games, they've been in those tight games and they battled out and executed, well enough to get those wins. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Sinton had the fortitude to come back and after a slow start to win the game. But I want to spend most of my time talking about Ingleside and the great job that those guys did. I was blown away when the coach said, that it's a little unknown fact that those guys haven't got any points scored against them in the first half, and I don't know how many games. That's impressive. You know what I'm saying? They've only gave up 183 games and 183 points in all the games that they played thus far. And think about the teams that they're playing. You know what I'm saying? So, they're in a pretty tough district, with some high scoring teams. So 183 points, fair. That defense is built, right. I think differently than John. I think they're going to do well. I think the tough games that they, the Sinton game and the tough game, lessons that they learned against Rockport, it's going to help them in the playoffs. I look for them to go make a little run this year. I don't think they're going to be one and done. I think they're going to go over there and they're going to knock off Devine this week. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to do extremely well, and it's going to be because of the season that they've had. You know what I'm saying? And in the momentum they, even though they're coming off a tough loss, that was a playoff game for them. You know what I'm saying? Playoff caliber team. So that's going to set them up well going into the week 1 of the playoffs and carry them over. I think honestly do. I think they got a good enough defense to win these games. Get a couple of games into the playoffs. I really do. And they can score points. So it's obvious that they can score points, but the defense is really going to carry them. Now, you know what I'm saying? The 4-quarter thing, stuff like that, we're in a tough district over here. You know what I'm saying? Rockport, was able to battle back out of the funk that they were in, and then Sinton, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're going to bring the same caliber, at least the first round. Maybe the second round will be a tougher game for them, but I look for them to get, for this defense to carry them through the first, round and possibly a second. I'm not even going to, cut them off at the second round. I give them a chance, man. Anytime you got a good defense that can play well and you can score enough points, you got a chance. And I think the season, like I said, the season that they've had is going to prepare them well for the playoffs. So I look, looking for good things, man, this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ingleside will do good against Devine. They'll be tested in the second round versus Wimberley. But I believe that as tough as they played against Sinton, they come out with that same mentality, but execute all quarters that they should be able to beat Wimberley. Just like I believe Rockport could beat Cuero. You know what I mean? So it's all about not making mistakes and capitalizing on turnovers. You know what I mean? And not creating turnovers, because then you're giving the other team more opportunities, and that's one of the things they did versus Sinton. And if you take away the extra opportunities they gave Sinton to score, you know, who knows how many more points, one, that they could have scored, Ingleside, and two, they could possibly have won that game. So, anyways, Gabriel?
Well, first of all, with Sinton, you have to play 4 quarters with them. Um, if you don't play 4 quarters with Sinton, you could possibly lose that game. And I think when you talk about their mental, they got some athletes over there, but I think what's really been impressive to me is the mental. You guys talked a little bit about how they don't get rattled, the experience that they have. Troutman and his assistants do a really good job. I think Troutman, the way he preaches them, these kids understand they're always in the game. They're always in the game. It's a long 4 quarter game, and there's no quitting these guys. So if you play a good half, but you don't play the 4 quarters, you're probably going to lose against this sitting team. So you have to play 4 quarters. Um, on the Ingleside side, we had Coach Hamrick on yesterday, and he said, a couple of field goals he missed, the turnover in the red zone, some decisions that he made, he kind of put it on himself. We capitalize on those and keep those turnovers. I don't know if they win the game, but it's definitely a lot closer for 4 quarters. But they're learning. They're building that team. I love that defense. I'm with Steve. I love that defense. I said that from the very beginning of this year. The offense, we're going to see how they were going to come on, but that defense has been there since game 1 of this season. They were there last year. Now the offense this year from last year, you saw it come alive this year, being able to score points. They can run, they can pass. You heard a couple of what Coach Hammer said. So they're getting better. Still in a really tough. I thought they were still, when we made our predictions, I thought they were still behind Rockport this year, behind Rockport and Sinton, simply because of what Rockport and Sinton had. The Galvan boys and some other guys like that line, they've been there for 3 years. Rockport, you have Chupi and McAllister and crew. Those guys have been up on that varsity playoff for 4 years since they were freshmen. So I thought when you looked at the programs, right, that's why these two teams, I put them ahead of Ingleside simply because of the people, the guys that we had. Now, coming back this upcoming year, of course, the realignment changes, right? But if it was going to stay the same, guys, with the amount of kids that Rockport was going to lose, they still got some talent, though. But with the amount of kids that Rockport was going to lose, and the amount of kids, big name kids, the Sinton was going to lose. The Ingleside all of a sudden becomes pretty dangerous, don't they, to me? So I think they're going to get better next year. I think they're going to be able to beat the first round playoffs. I'm actually going to predict that Ingleside's going to win because I think that they can win. And I'm with Steve, man. I think they can win. If they can put 4 quarters together and not turn the ball over, absolutely they can win week 1. Against Wimberley, it'll be a little bit tougher. I think the experience in round 2, if they play Wimberley, is what might eat up Ingleside. But Wimberley's going to have to come to play because Ingleside's going to play. But I think if we see the 4 quarter, that's what's going to be interesting to me. Can they put 4 quarters together? Because you're going to need that against a really good Wimberley team. But I think that they do win this Friday. And then it'll be interesting to see how competitive will Ingleside be in that round 2 if they get there against Wimberley. Win or lose, I want to see that game to see how they compete against a real good Wimberley team. And that's where I think, guys, that the loss to Sinton and the loss to Rockport, we'll see if that helped them because Wimberley is not going to be that much better than that offense is not going to be that much better than what they saw from Rockport and Sinton. I think Wimberley passes a little bit more, but they've already seen 2 great offenses. And let's not forget Westoso. Westoso had a pretty darn good offense as well with a lot of speed and a great quarterback. So they've seen 3 teams just in district offensively that are pretty damn good. So we'll see what happens, but I think Ingleside will do good in the first week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you talked about next year with the change and how many seniors both Sinton and Rockport are losing this year. He said he only had 14 seniors on the team.
Right.
So
Right.
so he has a lot of underclassmen on that Ingleside team. So for them to have the accomplishments that they had this year with that many underclassmen is speaks volumes for how great of a program Ingleside actually is. Um Next game we had Raymondville come into West Oso in this game, a game that West Oso had to win had they won last week to make the playoffs. They did win. They finished their season off with a win. They beat Raymondville 69-35. So, just one game too short of the playoffs. They needed to win last week versus Port Isabel, but they couldn't do it, and they played a close game with them until the fourth quarter last week. But they weren't able to put it away. But they put away this game for their last game, and it was their last game on their field for their seniors. So big impressive win though. Uh, Johnny, you have anything to say about this game?
No, I mean, I expected West also to pretty well handle Ravenville. I mean, I was not shocked by this, but it was a good way for them to go out, not making the playoffs with a huge win like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve.
Yeah, no, West also had a great season, man. That quarterback had an exceptional season. You know what I'm saying? I've seen he's in the Caller Times top, 3, I believe. I think
Yeah.
in stats and stuff. So great job by that kid, man, all year. They really played tough this year, man. They had a great season. I picked them to get into the playoffs this year, and they just hit that bump in the road, man. I think that Port Isabel was big for them. Coming off how well they played against Rockport, and going into that Port Isabel game, I'm sure the coach feels that they let one slip away right there. They would have gotten that win, because they played Ingleside tough. They how well they played against us in the first half. So I think there's it's time for West Oso, man. That next year they'll bounce back. They'll get a lot of guys back, and West Oso is going to make some noise, man. I really enjoyed watching their offense, man. Rankin and those guys down there did a great job. Is Rankin gone? Is Rankin a senior? Did y'all say that?
I think so. I think Rankin, Huff, and Peña were seniors.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, I think, Smitty's doing some good things down there. He's rejuvenated that program. And I look for the Bears to return their glory, man. I think they're going to be fighting for that playoff spot again next year. And now they know, you know what I'm saying? It was all new for them too, that them Valley teams. And but now they know, you know what I'm saying, they'll be better prepared for it next season. And it's off to the off season now, and get their strength up and their endurance, and be able to finish some of these games. And that's the only place where they're lacking. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're going to have some guys going to have to step up and fill in these shoes of these guys that are going to be leaving. But you know what I'm saying? I'm sure Smitty will get them snapped into shape. You know what I'm saying? His offseason program, he seems like he's pretty serious about that, and has a great offseason program prepared and lined up for these boys. And I'm sure they're already hitting it right now. I'm sure they're hitting the weights and getting prepared for next season. But you know what I'm saying? And then I guess let's see, who did they play? Raymondville. Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying? 3-7. Well, I mean, them too, you know what I'm saying? Those guys there too. I mean, like I said, they're in a tough district down there for them, having Sinton and Rockport, West Oso playing as well as they were, and then Ingleside. So it's tough for those Valley boys to get caught up to the speed. But, they, all in all, you know what I'm saying? They had a pretty good season. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, and I was looking at the roster. Huff is a junior, the running back. He was very explosive, so they do get him back. Gabriel?
No, I'm just better than anybody here on the podcast, Tony. They've got a lot of athletes. You lose some, somebody steps up. One thing West Oso's always had is athletes. But I like Brad Smithy. We had him on. I like him a lot. I wish him a lot of success down there. And I think he's going to do what Steve said. I think you can give him another year, 2 years, and he's going to get that program back up and running like it was before he got there. Third round playoffs, and I think that they'll do that because they have the athletes. It was sad to see that with the talent that they had at quarterback, that they couldn't get into the playoffs. I had West Oso in the playoffs, but that, whether they made it or not, doesn't take away from the season. And you see the stats on this quarterback. They'll lose him and lose some key players, but they have that next man mentality where the next man comes up. We know there's a lot of talent down there. Smitty gets that group together and can buy into his program, and you better watch out for West Coast. So I think they're coming. Didn't make the playoffs, but what one heck of a season, man. So I look for Westoso to bounce back. And listen, T, who knows where they'll be with this realignment. I mean, they may not have Rockport, Sinton, or Ingleside to have to contend with. We don't know where this is going to go. So this realignment may help Coach Smitty depending on where Westoso goes. So it's going to be fun to see where they end up. But I think no matter where, they're going to be they're going to be competitive again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if they stay in Division Two, 4A, and some of the teams move out, I think they'll do a little bit better. But especially if they move down to 4A, I mean 3A Division One, I think that they definitely can compete and have some success in that district. Um, Next game we have a close game, another district game for our district. We have the Robstown Cotton Pickers taking on Rio Hondo. In this game, Rio Hondo takes the win, 34-29. So another competitive game for Robstown. I mean, we talked about Robstown having some competitive games versus Port Isabel and even West Oso. And here they have another one. They just can't win. They just can't seem to get the win. But anyways, they end their season with another loss. Johnny?
Yeah, did Robstown even win a game this year?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're 2-8 now in the season
Robstown 2-8.
after that
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
I mean, I had picked Rio Hondo over Robstown. I mean, I just saw Rio Hondo playing more competitive ball this year compared to what Robstown did this year. I mean, it's just Robstown's never been that football team. Not at the varsity level. They've been at the lower classifications, but just they disappeared on the varsity level. So I don't know if they go to Orange Grove. I don't know if they go to Calallen. Because those teams are always excelling in those football categories. So I don't know what's going on with Robstown once they get into high school on the football level.
They actually have a lot of options. I mean, Banketti's just a few miles up the road. You got Bishop a few miles down the road the other way. You got Tuloso-Midway. I mean, there's so many different schools that those guys in that area can go. I know we had a guy when I played at West Oso that was from Robstown that went to West Oso. I tell you what, though, they have a really nice damn football field. I tell you what.
Hey,
Gabriel?
everything. They got a great softball field. Everything is nice down there.
Yeah, it is. It's real nice. Gabriel?
No, I ain't got nothing to say about this game.
All right. So and this game right here was a shocker to me. Again, a game that Victoria West didn't have to win. They were already in the playoffs. But they play a close game versus Veterans Memorial. And this game, Veterans Memorial gets to win 26-24. I'm not sure what happened. It seemed like a game I would love to have been at. Uh, but man, Victoria West came to play. They didn't win, but they came to play. Johnny, I'll go to you first. You have anything to say about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what exactly happened. How did the West let this go? They were up 17-0 in the third quarter.
I saw that.
How do you let that thing go? I want to shine a little light on the vet quarterback Aiden Hinojosa. He went 15 for 25, 3 touchdowns and 152 yards passing. While on the ground, he ran for 5 carries for 28 yards. Give it up to vets. I mean, they were looking at sharing the district championship with GP, but they ended up pulling this thing off. So hats off for the vets being district champions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had a bad taste in their mouth from that loss they took to Flower Bluff. I'm pretty sure that they were gonna do everything to not let that happen again. And I'm pretty sure that halftime talk helped out with that a lot. Steve.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was really close, but I knew Victoria West was going to come to play. I think I picked Victoria West on this one on an upset pick. And again, you know what I'm saying? They got close, but close, but no cigar. But both teams now, you know what I'm saying, have to put that game behind them and prepare for the playoffs. You know, Victoria West has got into the playoffs along with Veterans Memorial. They'll be playing a Veterans Memorial team in the first round as well. I thought that was kind of odd. So I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, they did that
So
about 3 years ago.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully Vets can get back on stride because I mean I look at the loss, right? I'm looking at the last two games, you know what I'm saying? So the loss against Flower Bluff had to be a shocker, like you said, and then a close win against Victoria West, who you know what I'm saying was, you know, 4 seed. You know what I'm saying? They really should have blew this team out. So I'll be watching for Veterans Memorial to see how they do in this first round. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it could be a little bit of an upset alert, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's something to say about, you know, how you go into the playoffs. And yes, they were, you know, one loss team going in or whatever, but now you gotta find that team again, right? You gotta bounce back. Now it's been 3 weeks, and you gotta go back and find that team that put a whooping on Carroll 66-24. You gotta go back and find that team. So you know, I'm sure the coach is going to get them in there and get them in the film room and then figure out what's going wrong and make those adjustments, you know, because they got to get back on track, man. You know, they're too good of a team to, you know, they're not backing into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You can't back into a playoff 7-1. But, you know, offensively, yeah, there's something going on. Defensively, there's something going on there. You know what I'm saying? They gave up 39 points to Flower Bluff, you know what I'm saying? And so there's something going on in that defense, and to be in this close of a game, although, you know, Victoria West, you know, was fighting hard, you know, to improve their seeding. So I'm sure that had something to do with it, you know, their offense. But, you know, I'm sure the coaches are trying to scratching their heads, trying to figure out what's going on with us defensively. So we'll see how it goes, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be watching really close to see if these, you know, these last 2 games are going to carry over.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gabriel?
Well, just to add a little bit of what Steve said, I'm concerned about about Veterans Memorial going into the playoffs. They're young. We had Coach Bittner on, and he said his players were. He has a lot of young players, and he talked about how young they were. But I don't know if they're going to be as dominant this year as they were in the past couple of years. I mean, Flower Bluff has a good coaching staff down there. They put a good game plan together. These guys have been battling for years now, for a couple of years, so they know each other very well. So Flower Bluff's head coach knows a lot about Victoria West and vice versa. And so he put a good game plan. They had some talent there, and they beat Veterans Memorial. I wanted to see how Veterans Memorial is going to come out. I thought they were going to blow out Victoria West, like Steve said they should have, and they did not. They got the win, but they did not look impressive. So to me, going into the playoffs, you might be able to get a win in that first round, but the second round becomes very interesting. I don't know if they're going to be able to dominate like they have in the past, and who knows what happens in the first round, because they seem to not be hitting on all cylinders like they were early on in the season. Something's going on down there. So we'll see if Coach Bittner can put it together or not. But definitely right now, if I was a fan of the Veterans Memorial Eagles, like, you know, I had a kid that went to school, I'd be very concerned about the way we played these last 2 weeks going into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The next game we have really just a game for GP just to go out there and shine on the kind of season that they've had. They take the win against Ray, 69-0. Really not a lot to say about whether they should have won this game or lost this game, because we already talked about how great of a season GP is having and how they've turned their program around. Johnny, do you want to elaborate on this game?
I just want to shine a little light on the stars for GP. Of course, Dalvin Betts are always having the great games. He was 15 carries. He had 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. And then your quarterback, Brandon Redden, he only attempted 11 passes, completed 7, 3 touchdowns, and 133 yards. He also had a touchdown rush, you know. So good tune-up for this team, you know. They didn't play the whole game, of course, but it was a good tune-up for them, you know, to go into it. You know, that's a great way to end your season, your regular season. You know, you blow them out, have a shutout. Great way to go into the playoffs this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got down here that he is a junior too. The running back that you're talking about is a junior. So he'll be coming back next year, along with their quarterback. Yep, quarterback's also a junior as well. So great job down there for GP. Steve?
Yeah, and this is kind of like the polar opposite of what we just talked about a Veterans
Vets.
Memorial. Yeah, so Gregory-Portland's on a upswing here. You know what I'm saying? They're playing well going into the playoffs, and that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's where you want to be. You want to be hitting your stride and peaking and take care of business and against the teams you're supposed to. So in the last 3 games, they've only gave up 17 points. You know what I'm saying? And defensively, that's how you want to go into a playoff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to GP, making some noise this year in the playoffs, and we'll see how it works out.
All righty. Gabriel?
I want to see the regular season's over, so it's great. GP had a great season. They're the second seed in a pretty tough district, but now the playoffs start. So let's see what they do. Remember, they ain't been in the playoffs in a long time. It's a whole new season. I think they'll get the first win. First round playoff. They should win at least. But then the second one becomes very interesting. So I want to see how competitive they're going to be in the playoffs. So tell me a lot about next season. You got to remember, to me, I think a lot of these teams really didn't expect GP. Nobody expected GP to be able to do what they did except GP, right? So now these teams like Flower Bluff, Veterans Memorial, if the realignment, however that happens, will be better prepared next year. But GP is still a very good talent. They're still a talented team with a lot of their players coming back next year. So how well they do in the playoffs, to me, will dictate how well they'll start off next year. I know they had a good season, but if they lose this first round of this playoff on Friday, I think they play Friday, that's going to say a lot about where they'll start next year. To me, it's a game that they should dominate on Friday, but we'll see what happens this Friday and then in round 2 and see if they can get to round 3.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they're playing a Valley School, McAllen, for the first round. Then they go in and they play the winner out of Breckenridge and someone else. So we'll see how they do. But I mean, they have the chance. I think them and Flower Bluff, the way Flower Bluff ended their season with the as strong as they did in Portland, the way they ended their season as strong as they did, have a really good chance. I was looking at the bracket. They really have a good chance of meeting each other again. So we'll see. I think it's a possibility there. Um, Next game we have, let's see. We have the Moody Trojans taking on the Victoria East Titans in this one. A close game. Moody finishes it tough, but Victoria East was just too much for them. They take the win 51-45. But again, we talked about Moody losing some close games, and they have. We talked about how close of a game they played with Vets and Flower Bluff, and then they lose another close one to Victoria East. Um, uh, Johnny, you want to elaborate on this game?
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty good fight by Moody. I mean, Moody had a good season this year. They didn't have a fluke season. They impressed me a lot this year. I got to say that. Getting 44 points on the East, that's something else. I mean, they gave up 51, but hell, they scored 27 points in the second quarter. Moody did, but this just wasn't enough to keep up with the East. So they were fighting. They're trying to challenge, but they just fell short this game. But Moody came for real this year. I don't know who they have coming back, who they're losing next year or whatever, but this year was, to me, a winning season for those boys.
Yeah, I mean, in a very tough district. I mean, they get 5 wins on the season. And they they play against they played against some pretty stiff competition. So hats off to the Trojans, the kind of season that they had. I mean, they can't be too upset about that. I know it hurts to not make the playoffs, especially for those seniors, and I'm going to say seniors a lot. Especially for those seniors, it's tough to not make the playoffs. But I mean, they had a season that they could hold their head high about. Steve?
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're all in agreement about Moody and the season that they had. Like Tony said, they played well in all these losses that they were in against some very stiff competition. So I tell you what, man, I'm gonna go out and say it right now. Moody makes the playoffs next year, brother. Moody makes the
All right.
playoffs, and they might even squeeze up into that third spot. But right now, I'll put them at the 4, man. They're very. I mean, it's very telling, right? The numbers don't lie. They're up and coming, and they're on the brink of doing something. So we'll see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too sure on their age and what they do, if they're cycling out or not. But we'll see, man. I'll be watching. I'll be paying more attention to Moody next year, and that's no doubt. I'm gonna put a little asterisk next to them. I'm gonna be watching for them to make some improvements.
Gabriel.
No comment.
All right. Let's see. I was just looking at their roster real quick. Um, it doesn't look like they have a whole lot of seniors on their team
Yeah.
from what I'm looking at. So they should have quite a bit of guys coming back at that Moody Trojans. Next game we have was another game that I didn't think would be as close as it was. In this game, Beeville comes over to Miller and plays a really tough game against the Bucks, but the Bucks come out with the win, 28-24. Johnny, what do you have to say about this game?
Ooh, that was tight. I was not expecting this either. I was not even close. Not even close. Not even close. No. Hats off to Beeville. I mean, what a great way to go in the playoffs. I mean, they're going as the number 4 seed, so this is confidence going into the playoffs. Playing Miller, everybody talks about Miller, so this is high confidence for them. I mean, I know they're going to be playing a tough team, but Beeville at least going with a little some confidence going into this first round.
Absolutely, absolutely. Steve.
Yeah, no, great season by that sophomore quarterback, man. That guy did extremely well. He's on top of that quarterback list that the Caller Times put out. He's on the very top, and that surprised me. You know what I'm saying? He beat out some you got some seniors in there, the Sinton guy, you know what I'm saying? And you got some great quarterbacks, and he's on the top of that list. But with that being said, I don't know, man. I'm not too sure about Miller, bro. I think honestly, and I said it jokingly before on the podcast, about them possibly, struggling to find their identity. I think seeing how well the kid did running in that running game, and then he had a couple of weeks, or no, he had a week and then one off, and then had another big week. I think he might be getting something in his ear. You know what I'm saying? Something's going on with that team. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they didn't have an identity this year. They wanted to pass, they wanted to run. What's going on? I mean, they played well. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're getting W's. But you know what I'm saying? They're giving up a crap ton of points, man, and that's got to be scary. You know what I'm saying? They gave up 349 points this year. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're an offensive team. They should be looked at as an offensive team. You know what I'm saying? They put up tons of points, scored 373 points all year. But man, you got to be able to play some defense. You got to be able to play some defense and hold it off. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put all your focus on the offense side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's going to win you some games in district, but that's not going to fare well the deeper they go into the playoffs. So, I put them too, man. I'm gonna put them on upset alert as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's being honest. Just because how they may be struggling to find an identity over there, man. I don't know. I'll be watching. I'll tell you that.
One thing about Miller is they're going to play the way you're going to score, how you're going to score. If you score 20-something points, that's what they're going to score. If you score 70 points, they're going to score 70 points.
Yeah, but is that a good thing? I don't think it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is 2 years in a row they've been doing this,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's just like they're playing to the caliber of whatever the other team's going to score. It's almost like they want it. They want it that way. But like I say, I think all their talent's probably on the offensive side. I think if somebody could be a stud on that defensive side, they're just going to keep that more on the offensive side. I think that's what's going on, because 2 years in a row, man, giving up so many points, high, very high score points.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on over there, in my opinion. I don't know what that's going on, but let's say the one of the receivers could be an awesome linebacker, but we need that receiver, because that's what we do. We're going to throw the ball, but he could fly from sideline to sideline, but now we don't need him on defense. And I think that's their thing going on, because I'm pretty sure a lot of those receivers could play safeties, or corners, but I'm pretty sure they all go one way. So that's my thought on that. I don't know if that's really going on, because it's obvious one dominates more than the other, so it's sad, but you're right. You can't go. You go only so far, but you will get dominated somewhere down the line.
I'll say this. I'll say this about Miller. Number one, the quarterback's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
He threw for 2,800 yards and 34 touchdowns as a sophomore in a tough 4A Division I district as a sophomore. Okay. Uh, I'm looking at his team. There's only a handful of seniors on that team. So when we talk about identity, yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's more like maturity. I think, these guys are having to mature fast, and they're just not maturing fast enough for the competition that they're playing. And we can't say the same thing about last year because last year they were senior heavy, so it was opposite. And they same, kind of like what Johnny said, they're just outscoring opponents. They're not stopping them. And I think that is something that they need to improve on. But man, for a sophomore to go out there and throw for 2,800 yards and 34 TDs in the district that they're in, that says a damn lot about the talent that they got at that school. So I mean, I'm looking for Miller to at least get by week one, but week two is going to be a little bit tougher. They got the winner out of Bernie and Canyon Lake. So that I think that will prove as a true test for them. I don't think they're gonna have any problem in week one. Uh, Gabriel, what are your thoughts?
Listen to what Steve said, and listen to what you said, T. You said the stats that this sophomore has, and with that stats, they place what, second or third in that district? Third. And this is with a sophomore quarterback. As a sophomore, with the amount of touchdowns and with the amount
second,
okay, with the amount of stats that he has, and they couldn't win the district title. Most quarterbacks that throw like that, man, you're gonna go far in the playoffs, right? Because you got a stud quarterback, you've got receivers that can catch the ball, and obviously you got a line that can block, right? Because of the stats that this quarterback's put in, all those things have to be in place. But if you flip it over to the other side, the defense is nowhere near the offense, like Johnny said. And somewhere along the line, unless you have an Andrew Body who doesn't come often, right? This guy's good. But what Andrew Body could do for Miller the last 2 years was special. That kid was special. He could do some things to be able to overcome what the defense could do. So you want to score 60, we're going to score 61 because I have the quarterback and the receivers, right? So they were able to overcome all of that. You don't have that, and we don't know yet if this quarterback's going to be anywhere near what Andrew Body could do, right? But you see him throwing, but he doesn't get any help from the defense. So you're basically telling this quarterback next year as a junior and next year as a senior, you're going to have to throw. You got to be better than what you were this year, next year, for us to be able to go deep in the playoffs. This guy needs a little bit of help because you're putting it on his arm to have to do this week in and week out, week in and week out. And you know how hard that is. So I think that as good as that quarterback is, and I think as good as he's going to be the next 2 years, not having an average defense, it's going to be hard for him. And I don't see Miller being able to do what they did when they were with Body because they've got to get that defense straightened out. You have the talent on offense, but that defense has got to get better if you want to get out of the region because that defense is doing you. They're basically saying, okay, score on us. We're going to come back and score. And I've seen that. And of course, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but what I'm saying is if Miller had an average or above average defense, Ooh, that'd be scary with this quarterback's doing. So I think they've got to get that defense going, be able to make some stops to help this offense. Because if they can do that, this kid as a sophomore, that's impressive to me. But I don't think it's going to help him very much if everybody can just go in there and score. Listen, when you jump over to Beeville, I told you about Sosa, man. That guy can coach. And look how he's got Beeville playing now. This was a good win that they had a week ago to get in the playoffs. And then they played a really good Miller team, I think, this year. They should have blown Beeville out. So Beeville's going in with some momentum. I don't know if that'll be enough to win their first playoff game, but it's definitely, they've turned it around the last, 3 weeks or something. So great job by Sosa and his assistants with Beeville, turning their season around the way they have, making the playoffs. But for Miller, they've got to work on that defense, I think, because this quarterback's going to be great, but with no help from the defense, they might not go more than 2 rounds in the playoffs. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. We will see. But like I said, they are a young team, and you know, we'll see how they do. We'll see how the experience of those seniors on that team that went 4 rounds last year helps them out in the playoffs this year. Next game we have a game that is closer than I thought it would be, but I mean at the same time I thought it could go either way. So I'm kind of torn between what I thought was gonna happen. But Calallen, Calhoun comes over to Calallen and I would say stuns Calallen because I mean Calallen blowing teams away and they squeak by with the win, 33-21 in this game to keep the district title and on their side over there. So Johnny, I'll go to you first. I mean, you picked Calhoun to win, and I said if it was possible if you kept the ball, time of possession and things like that out of Carolina's hand, that it was possible. I didn't check into that stat, but did you happen to check into that stat as far as time of possession?
Time possession, no. I
Because that's
didn't
one of
get
the things you
I
said had to happen.
didn't, I didn't get deep into that. It was 21-21 the end of the third quarter, dude. 21-21. I thought Calhoun had this. But like what Sinton did to Ingleside, Calallen did the same thing to Calhoun, scoring 12 points in that fourth quarter to put it away, So hats off to Calallen, getting their back-to-back district champions already. And it's actually Danaher's 24th district championship. It is under Coach Danaher, which is impressive here in the state of Texas. One thing I was kind of looking for is like who was going to pass. Calhoun had one pass. They had one pass for 36 yards, and they scored a touchdown off that pass. Calallen went 3 for 6 in the air and had a touchdown in the air too. So, but these boys were back and forth the whole game. I did have the total total yards rushing with I don't even know which way this was, but it's pretty well even. It didn't matter. One team had 44 rushes for 286 yards. The other team had 40 rushes for 249 yards. So there was no dominance on that ground game. Nobody really dominated the game. Like I said, it was just back and forth. 21-21 in the third quarter. I thought Calhoun had this. I really did. But they couldn't finish it off. Our problem Calhoun's been having. But
yeah.
I was impressed. I was impressed by Calhoun with this. So I think Calhoun's the number 3 seed in this district.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering why I put that number 3 out there. So
I tell you what, I'm looking at their team totals, and man, when you talk about pretty clean cut, pretty even, Total plays, Calhoun had 49, Calallen had 46. First downs, Calhoun had 14, Calallen had 15. Penalties, Calhoun had 3, Calallen had 2. Penalty yards, 20 and 10. Time of possession, this is where Calhoun had it a little bit longer. They had 26 minutes and Calallen had a 21 minutes. So it was a
Difference.
very even game. Very even game. So it could have went either way. Calallen finds a way to get the win. Steve, what are your thoughts on this?
Hey, I'm just gonna throw Epi's final numbers out there, and then I'll defer to Gabriel. So Epi finished the season with 1,450 yards on 184 attempts with 18 touchdowns. So congratulations on to that kid, and he led the area. I don't know if I said that, but congratulations on the season that kid had, and I'm saying let's see how well that running game is going to travel. I'm sure they're going to do well. Running games always travel well, and I look forward to Calallen's postseason play.
How many yards did you say you had?
1,450.
Yeah, so John almost caught him with his barely over 100 yards, 100 carries.
That's right, and had equal touchdowns. Yeah,
Damn.
John Chupi had 106 carries to
Yeah.
184 carries. So 78 carries more
Yeah.
and only 100 yards. Hey, this
Yeah.
we're on Calhoun.
Yeah. Gabriel, what are your thoughts?
My hats off to the Calhoun Sand Crabs, but they still lost, and that's what counts.
But not
You can
easily
talk
more
the
than two
stats.
scores, right?
Well,
Yeah, two
almost.
scores are gonna blow it out. I don't see a game being close to this. I don't know what
Yeah,
y'all
he did
talking
say that.
about.
He did say that.
Well, it was close to 2. It was close to 14. But hey, let me ask you this because I don't remember. Tony, who did you pick?
I picked Calallen.
Steve,
It
who
was
did you
split.
pick?
I went Calhoun.
Calhoun.
So I might have
Upset
done
special.
14. I did 14 T, and it didn't do. But I did say Carolina was going to win, what the other two guys did, and they didn't. Listen, take your hats off to Calhoun. They did good. But at the end of the game, the only thing that really matters is the score, and they didn't win. You'd be close for 3 quarters if you want. Hell, half of the fourth quarter. At the end of the day, you didn't win. That's all that matters, right? There you go.
On to the
Carolina's
next
gonna
one.
win.
Just like Ingleside, they didn't win it. They forget
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
Hey,
don't say
but,
nothing about that.
but I am going to say this, guys. I am going to say this. That is, to me, real quick. It's not disappointing, but it's concerning that Calallen couldn't. They should have blown out Calhoun. Really, Calhoun came in with a great game plan. They got a great coach out there, and they almost won. And that, I think, if you're Calallen, you got to be concerned going into the playoffs. The way they've been playing lately, they might not make it past the second round, guys. This is very concerning because really a turnover here, a turnover there, and Calhoun wins this game. They put themselves in great position to win. So Calallen won, but they were very lucky to come out with that win the way it seemed like Calhoun played for 3 quarters, almost 4 quarters. So it's concerning if you're the Calallen Wildcats, I think.
Yeah. I think we said this about Rockport when the season started is when you get to the playoffs, you really have to have two dynamics. You don't have to be able to run well and pass well, but you need to be able to do both. And for one of them only attempting 3 passes and one of them only attempting 1 pass, I don't think that's going to get them very far. No matter how good of a running game you got, you have to be able to do both. You know what I'm saying? And none of them. I mean, if you look at Port Lavaca's passes on the season, I don't think they have over 20 passes. Is that right, Johnny? Something like, I mean, it's low. It's
I
a low
forgot what I
number.
said. Yeah.
It's a low number in all 10 of their games, and Calallen's on that same boat. You know what I mean? You put all the weight on the shoulder of your running backs, and it's tough. It's tough when you get into the playoffs when you can't do more than one thing. So we'll see. But that 4A Division One is tough. It's a tough district to be in. So we'll see what happens. Next game we have the Taft Greyhounds taking on the Skidmore Titan Bobcats, and this one Taft gets a big win, 46-21. Johnny?
Woo, good win by Taft. They needed something like this going to the playoffs. Wanted to shine a little bit with JJ Acosta going 19 for 26 for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had 16 carries for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Boy had 4 touchdowns this game, so hey, Taft, we expect a little bit more from Taft this year, but hey, you got in, you're the number 3 seed. Hey, it's a new season, new football season, so that's all you got to think about. Rough district, not the way they planned it, but hey, it's a new season. You can face the same team again. It happens many times.
So if you're out there from Taft and you're watching and you're listening, was that enough for him to be able to sit on the home side again? I don't know. Comment on this video.
Yeah.
Steve?
No, man. Great job by Coach JR getting those guys and finishing off their season strong and getting to the playoffs. So now the true test is, what I'm saying, this is where this is why they brought him in, what I'm saying, to get him in the playoffs and to make a little run. So now it counts for real. So we'll be watching, man. I think Taft they do things well. What I'm saying, they are great on offense and they got a stellar defense. And what I'm saying? So the true test is going to be now, what I'm saying, in the postseason. So I'll be watching, man, and I wish them luck. I think they should fare well, what I'm saying. I'm sure the coach is what makes, he does such a fabulous job getting those guys amped up and ready to play. So I know, and he seems like the type of guy that, postseason is a different game. What I'm saying? Flip the switch, and he's probably got it really turned up, dialed all the way to 10, and he's got those boys frothing at the mouth for the playoffs. So we'll see how they do, man. I'm looking forward to Taft as well, making a good little run.
All righty, Gabriel.
Well, JJ Acosta, I believe, is a sophomore, so we'll be talking about him for 2 more years. But to the coach, real quick, Castellano, he comes from Refugio, so he comes from a winning program. He knows what they have to do. He's been around great coaches. He's talked about those coaches that he's been around as a player and as a coach. So he's got a lot of experience coming in. He's brought it into Taft. So I think they do get their first win, the first playoff win. I'm anticipating that they're going to win it. Now the second round will be a little tough, but like Steve said, man, they got a great quarterback, and they've got a good defense. But that offense is going to have to help. It can't just be Acosta by himself trying to get the win. It's not going to happen in the playoffs. So these guys on offense, they're going to have to run the ball, and they're going to have to be able to pass. They're going to need some help to be able to get to that third round. So we'll see what happens. But definitely like what Coach JR is doing down there in Taft, man. It's a great pick to have this guy be out there as their coach, and he's done a great job since he's been there. So I look for Taft to get the win, the first round playoff win.
All right. Next game we have the London Pirates taking on the San Diego Vaqueros, and I think this was our game of the week, was it not? I believe so.
Yes.
Yep, it was.
Yes.
So in this game, I don't remember, but I think it went to overtime. Is that correct? Did it go to
Yes.
overtime? It did go to
Yes.
overtime. So they were tied 35-35 at the end of regulation. And in this game, London takes the win 41-35. Johnny.
Okay. Hold on. Was it 41-35, 41-34?
I have 41-35.
I guess that sounds about right if you win it at overtime, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So both teams go in this game 8-0. Huge game. This is with a hell of a game of the week, one of our biggest games of the week. Smaller schools, but what an atmosphere. And what a way for these two teams to end it. Going into overtime, as Tony mentioned. Their old Ace Navarro was their quarterback. He missed most of the second half because of injury that he suffered in the first half. But they put him in with 24 seconds left in the game, and he throws a 50-yard bomb to make it go to overtime to tie the game. You know, somebody's been sitting on the bench, somebody you put away, they bring him out with 24 seconds, throws a bomb, and scores the tying run with 24 seconds. You know, they kept him in there. You know, he ended up winning the game in the overtime, having a 1-yard scamper, you know, into the end zone. You know, so he had 257 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 68 yards on the ground, and one on the ground rush touchdown. Hats off, you know, to London. I had picked San Diego. I was riding them all year towards the end, you know, but London was a tough team, you know, but I just felt we've been talking about San Diego, and I figured that was their deal. But hey, hats off for London winning that district championship. And it's actually their first undefeated regular season in their school history.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a great game, great battle. Uh, yeah, and San Diego had to battle in the fourth to tie it up because they were behind pretty much the whole game up until till they got the 2 touchdowns in the fourth. So hats off to San Diego for keeping it close. Steve.
I'm going to defer my time to Gabriel because he's going to need a lot more time. I'm going to defer.
Okay.
Man, I was with you, Gabriel.
Well, I'll say this, Tony. If you can play back the video if you want, I said I thought London was going to win. I did say that. If anybody remembers that, I said I think my gut tells me that London is going to win this game. But I'm going to stick with San Diego because I've been sticking with them all year. I said, and I think until they lose, why go jump off the bandwagon, right? So I went with them, but I thought that London was slightly the better team. They were going to play at home, and I thought that was going to give me the edge. But I just thought there was something. The game with Bishop, the San Diego won that close one. Ever since that happened, they got the win, but that didn't rub right with me. And I thought when they played London, I thought London was going to get the edge, and they did. It was a close one. But great game. I thought it would be good. If I could have gone to that game, I would have gone to that game. But I think we'll see what both of these teams do. You know, we'll preview this San Diego game coming up in week 1. But, you know, great team. You know, London gets the win. And I thought that they would. For San Diego, I don't think this loss means anything going into the playoffs. Had they won or lost, I think their first matchup is going to be very interesting. So we'll talk about that. But great win for London, man. And now that San Diego has lost, now I can kind of go another way if I want. But I still think, Tony, that San Diego is a good team.
They're a good team.
And if they played this Friday, you know, as close as that game was, San Diego might beat London. Who knows, right? But great game, and London was able to pull it out.
Yeah. So the next game that we have the Bishop Badgers taking on Falfurrias. In this game, Bishop takes the win, 51-14. Johnny?
Ooh, that was a blowout. You know, that's all I got to say. But hey, Bishop's in the playoffs, so you never know what could happen. You know, but that's a great blowout to go into the playoffs. So we'll see how they do. They got a little rough spot. They got a little rough game, but hey, you're in, Bishop.
Tony, when does Bishop play? You know,
when
or win?
When do they play? What day do they play? Thursday, Friday? What? Does anybody know?
They probably play Friday.
Okay, they got one more day one more full day, and a couple of hours to enjoy it because they're gonna lose on Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy it.
They made it, dude. They made it.
Yeah, they made it. But it doesn't matter where they play. It just matters when, because after that, it's over for the Bishop Badgers.
Yeah.
Who they got?
Edna.
I'm not.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Oh,
Edna.
they
matter.
got Edna. Oh shoot.
Edna.
Yeah. Well, Edna's pretty good.
They
Um.
play
If, hey,
Saturday.
hey,
They
hey,
play
man,
Saturday.
hey, if Bishop, if Saturday, okay, they get an extra day, a couple of hours. That's good.
Hey,
Hey, if
hey,
Bishop,
and listen, they play Edna in Edna.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Huh.
and like Johnny said, you never know, man. Stranger things have happened, but I think Edna will win. But if Bishop does win, guys, for 1 week, I won't be able to come out of the house, man. The Badgers will be hunting me down, dude. So, but we'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened, man. You never know. Like Johnny said, all you gotta do is get into the playoffs. That's all you gotta do, and it's a whole new
Ye-
season. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't see them beating Edna. If I'm not, if my memory serves me right, that was the team that Refugio had some problems with, if I remember correctly, at least in the first half.
Mhm.
Is that right? Do y'all remember that? Refugio did
Yeah,
play Edna, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
55-38. Edna scored 38 points on them. So yeah, they're not
and
gonna beat Edna.
let's not forget, Tony, that when Jordan Kelly and Mr. Moore were on, they talked about how physical that team was. So just something to throw out there.
Yeah. Steve, did you want to add anything to that, Bishop?
No, man. I'm gonna text my compadre, man. He lives in Wichita Falls. He's a Bishop Badger. He went to school there. I'm gonna text him right now and let him know because he probably don't keep up on him. So I'm gonna let him
Well, I
know
mean,
that his guys made the playoff.
Edna's like, I don't know, about what, 4 hours, 5 hours from Wichita? 6? It's up there
No,
north of Victoria, no?
yeah, Wichita Falls is like 8 hour drive from here.
Yeah, but Edna's like 2 hours from here, hour and a half.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get where you're at. Yeah,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna make the trip.
So the last game we have on the regular, I mean the area teams, we have Refugio taking on Freer, 68-0. I don't think there's a whole lot to say about that. Anybody?
State champs,
Already-
baby. State champs, baby. State champs. That's all you
I
gotta
like
say.
I like to point out some things in there. We never talk about them. We got to get a little shine to those players. I mean, they spread out the ball a lot. I got to say that. I mean, there is no big individual, but I got to bring out a couple of these. Just put some names out there. Desmond Brown. He only had 2 carries for 75 yards. Boy only has carried 2 carries. He has 75 yards. To me, that's impressive. And then Isaiah Bland, 1 carry for 53 yards. I guess his was a touchdown. Their quarterback, Kalen Brown, 13 of 17 for 182 yards and 4 touchdown passes. The rushing's there. I mean, they're just spreading it around everybody. Nobody's really having that 10, 15 carries a game. Like I just mentioned, one guy has 2, 75. Another guy has 1 for 53. These guys are just flying around everywhere. But yeah,
Hey, Johnny, that kid, repeat that quarterback's stats again.
Kalen Brown, 13 of 17 for 182 yards and 4 touchdown passes.
And what do you know what classification he is?
No.
I believe he's a freshman. That's what I was told. If my sources from Refugio, they're right, he's a freshman. And they said that kid's gonna blow it up, man, in 2 years, if not next year. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's just what I heard. I got some sources down there in Refugio to give me some information. I hope it's correct. But
Name?
that's what I heard.
What was his name?
Kalen Brown.
Caleb. Caleb Brown.
I see Kalen, Kelan Brown. Unless it's a misprint.
Is he number 9?
Ooh, that I don't know.
Yeah, the only Brown that I see Desmond Brown. Connor Brown. Caden Brown. There's a lot of Browns. The whole family plays on that team. We must be septuplets or something. Uh, so that is the breakdown of the area teams. We did have a state game. We have the number 6 Kilgore. I don't remember Bulldogs. I think they were taking on number 10 Lindale. In this game, Kilgore takes the win in a tough fight versus Lindale, 65-58. Uh, any of y'all want to talk about this game? I know we just kind of throwing a state game out there that we thought was going to be good. It did turn out to be a good game. Anybody want to elaborate?
I just want to say that this was more of a back and forth game. You want to talk about a back and forth game. Of course, they're both high in score. I mean, at the end of the first quarter, it was 14-7. At the end of the second quarter, it was 42-35. At the end of the third quarter, it was already 62-55. But they only ended up with 3 points each in the fourth quarter. These guys were just shooting back, running gun the whole time. Lindale had the better stats than Kilgore. I mean, Lindale had 508 yards total compared to 336 at Kilgore. Basically, the pass, I don't know. It just Lindale did have 4 turnovers this game compared to Kilgore's 0, and that proved to be costly. When you have 4 turnovers compared to 0, that's big. With a game going back and forth like that, so that game was a hell of a game, man. I saw the highlight there from the Max Prep, the hurdle thing, and you look at the score. They got 2 clips, one for one team, one for the other, and it's just like it's showboat time, dude, between the 2 teams. We talk about Miller giving up all those yards. These 2 teams have a defense that give them a lot, but again, 2 powerful offenses here. So it was a good highlight film on both sides.
All right. So, well, that completes the breakdown of week 11. Gabriel, we taking a break or are you going into the
Nah,
preview?
just go straight to the preview.
All right, just run these through real quick, fellas. Tell me what y'all think. Are we picking on these 2 or what are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first game we have Rockport Pirates taking on the 91 Rockport Pirates taking on the 4-5 Hondo Owls. Uh, Steve, I'll go to you first.
I got Rockport.
All right. Johnny.
Rockport.
All right. By a landslide, Rockport by a landslide. Gabriel.
Pirates. Rockport.
Right. So this is a game that we don't know.
Make it
This could go
official,
either.
T. Who do you got? You got to make it official. We know who you
Oh,
got.
my
but-
bad, my bad. I got Rockport. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I'm over here riding it and I'm keeping track of all of y'all. So I'm gonna go first on this one. So we have the 91 CC Vets taking on the 7-3. I want to say it's Brownsville Veterans Memorial. I'm not sure, but I think it's Brownsville.
No, they're Senate.
Uh,
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. They're the
that's-
Chargers.
yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So they're taking on Veterans Memorial from Brownsville, I believe, 7-3. In this game, I'm gonna go ahead and take Veterans Memorial. Uh, Johnny, who do you got?
Which Veterans Memorial?
Yeah.
Oh, CC. I'm taking CC Vets. I'm sorry about that. CC Vets.
Okay. So I'm going with the CC Vet Eagles too.
All righty. Steve, who do you got?
Corpus Christi Vets.
Man, after all that stuff you said about worrying about them in the playoffs, you still got them?
Dude, I just looked up the Chargers. Come on, bro.
Gabriel?
I'm going to CC Vets.
All righty. And again, I did say that I was going for CC Vets as well. And this is another 5A Division One matchup. We got the Victoria West Warriors taking on the McAllen Memorial. I'm not sure what they are, but they are 9-1. So they're taking the number one seed from that district on. Um, I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna stick with Victoria just because of how they ended their season, getting into the playoffs. I mean, they lost more games than they probably should have, but they battled it out to make the playoffs. So I'm gonna stick with Victoria West. Johnny, who do you got?
I'm going Victoria West also.
Steve?
Hey, and this is no joke. I know a lot of times I say a lot of goofy stuff, but I actually went to this school. I actually went to this school, the Memorial Mustangs. I went to this school when I was living down in the valley for about 6 months. I was in a halfway home uh, when I was young. I think I was like 14, 13 years old, and I went there for 6 months. So my alma mater. No, just kidding. No, Victoria West, man. I got Victoria West on this one.
Your mic, Tony.
Gabriel, who do you got?
I'm going with you guys. I got Victoria West.
Sticking with the area. All right. Fourth game we got the GP Wildcats, 7-3 GP Wildcats taking on the 8-2 McAllen. I didn't get their logo, but
Bulldogs.
McAllen, the Bulldogs. All right, taking on the Bulldogs. In this game, I'm gonna take GP because I mean GP's been playing real damn hard this season, and I'm gonna stick with them until they lose. Johnny, who do you got?
GP.
The pains you done it, Johnny. I can see the pain in your face.
Steve, who do you got? You going McAllen?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Gregory-Portland, bro.
Man, the pan dulce over there, McAllen's good though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They better bring it with them, right? They're playing in GP.
Gabriel?
I'm gonna try to go to this game. I gotta go GP, man. It seems right now the way we're picking that we ain't got no respect for those Valley teams. I mean, Johnny said he didn't respect the Valley team, so he's definitely right straight on. But yeah, I think GP wins this one, man, and it's gonna be at home, and so they should get the win.
And they're gonna play here. What day are they playing? Friday?
Friday.
Yeah, they didn't give me the day. I think
Yeah.
it's Friday, but I know it's at home. They told me.
Should live stream it. Break the law. Uh, the next game we have the 8-2 Flower Bluff Hornets taking on the 7-3 Rowe, also another Valley school. And this one I'm gonna stick with Flower Bluff, sticking with the area schools in the first round. Steve, who do you got?
Man, this was a close one for me. I was actually on this one several times. I kept going back and looking at more and going back and looking at more. Man, I almost want to go with Rowe here, but somebody's got to win down there in the valley. One of those goddamn guys is gonna win, but it won't be these guys. I'm gonna take Flower Bluff.
All right. I'll tell you what, I remember when I was in high school, Rowe had a damn good baseball team. I remember they had some battles with Moody back in the day, so that's what I remember about Rowe. Johnny, who do you got?
I go with the Bluff.
Yeah, you really don't respect the Valley, huh?
Uh-uh.
Gabriel, who do you got?
Well, with that win that they had over Vets, I got to go with Flower Bluff. That was an impressive win for me. So they might. I don't know if they'll get far in the playoffs, but that win's going to give them some confidence in week one of the playoffs. So I got to go with the Hornets.
All right. So this next game could go either way. We got the 4-6 Beeville Trojans taking on La Feria, the 7-1 La Feria. Uh, I'm gonna let y'all pick first, and then I'll tell you who I pick. Steve, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with La Feria right here.
All right, Johnny, who do you got?
I'm going Beeville.
Gabriel.
I'm going Beeville too.
All right, then I'm also going Beeville.
Yeah.
Hey man, they finished when you finish your season strong, going into the playoffs, that says a lot about the kind of playoff run you're gonna have. And like we talked about earlier about Veterans Memorial, you're really struggling the last 3 games. Kind of worries me about the kind of playoffs that they're gonna have.
Look, if Beeville wins, I'm gonna take a drive to Beeville, stop at Chili's, get something to eat, go to the school, and personally invite Coach Sosa to the Gridiron 64 podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm
Hey,
not saying he's
listen.
gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna answer the door. He's gonna talk to me. What I said was I'm gonna drive up there in a tent, but I'll drive up there and I'll personally give him an invitation.
There you go. So this next game, we got the 7-3 Miller Buccaneers taking on Hidalgo, the 4-5 Hidalgo. I don't know what they are, but
Pirates.
who?
Yeah, they are
They're the
Pirates.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates. All right, taking
Fighting
on the Hidalgo
Pirates.
Pirates.
Hey,
I'm gonna
listen
take
too. Before you say, the game's going to be played in Hidalgo. It's actually being played today.
today
That's what it says on here. It says today at 7 p.m.
on Wednesday.
I don't know, bro. That's what I'm
Who's
looking at.
who's Hidalgo playing? What'd you say? Hidalgo. who?
Miller.
Miller. Well, I got Miller. If they're playing right now, who's winning, Steve? I got Miller.
He's searching.
Who do you
I
got,
can see
Johnny?
the reflection of your eyeballs.
November the 11th. Isn't that today?
It's tomorrow. Veterans Day's tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I don't know why it said today. I guess it's not past midnight. It could be, but it's not. But no, so I guess it is tomorrow.
So who do you got?
Oh, I'm taking Miller. Tanto pedo.
Johnny?
Miller.
Gabriel, should I put you down for Hidalgo?
Miller.
Man, nobody from the Valley's gonna win. It looks like, she's Louise.
Somebody's gonna win from the Valley.
I
I'll
got
tell you
one.
who.
I got one pick for the Valley, but we haven't gotten to the game yet.
Well, I'll tell you what team in the Valley's not gonna win. It's this next team. We got the 5-4 Calhoun Sandcrabs taking on the Gorillas. I mean Grulla, 4-4 Grulla. In this one, I'm gonna take the Sandcrabs, even though they don't pass. Johnny, who do you got?
Or La Vaca.
Steve, is this the one
Same.
that you got from the Valley?
No, this ain't it. Y'all gonna be surprised. I'm taking Calhoun
Gabriel.
here.
Calhoun.
All right, in this one, we got 9-1 Calallen Wildcats taking on Zapata, 4-6 Zapata. In this one, I'm gonna take Calallen, even though they don't pass. Johnny, who do you
Calallen.
got? You got Calallen, Johnny?
Yeah, I got Danaher.
All right. And did you say Calallen too, Steve, or were you trying to answer for him?
No, I'll take Calallen as well.
And Gabriel, I think I already know who you're going with.
Right. Calallen.
All right. So, this might be the game you're talking about. I don't know. I got a 7-3 Port Isabel Tarpons taking on Carrizo Spring Bobcats. In this one, it's gonna shock y'all, but I got Port Isabel. Johnny, who do you got?
I got Port Isabel.
Wow, I thought I was gonna be the only one on that one. Gabriel, who do you got before Steve? He's over there giggling. I'm gonna let him go last.
Rizio Springs.
Oh, you got Carrizo, okay. You going with that undefeated record? That undefeated record don't tell me nothing. They didn't play nobody like Rockport and Sinton and Ingleside.
Port
Steve.
Isabel
Oh,
didn't
West
beat
Coast.
none of those, well, Port Isabel didn't beat none of those teams. I don't care if they were competitive. They didn't get the
Man,
W.
I'm
look at
gonna
how
go.
many.
Go ahead.
Look at the teams they played. They hardly won any games. Pearsall, Bandera.
That's not Carrizo Springs' fault.
Okay.
I mean, I play who you put on the team, but I mean, Port Isabel, they didn't get the W.
They battled. They battled. All right.
Shit. They still
Who
didn't
do you
get the
got?
win.
Who do you guys think?
I'm gonna take Carrizo.
Ooh, I thought that was for sure the one.
No, I got an upset special. I told you.
No, that's gonna be an upset. The number 4 taking out the number 1. It's gonna be that one right there. I promise.
They got a chance to win. I mean, Portismo's got a chance to win, but Carrizo got to come to play.
Yeah. We got Ingleside Mustangs, 82 Ingleside Mustangs taking on Devine. I don't know. They got some horses. I don't know what they're called. What what their mascot is?
They're war horses.
War horses. There you go. Divine War Horses. The 8-2 Divine War Horses. This is a tough one for me. I think Port Isabel could beat Carrizo, but I'm not sure about these two teams. But because I think the Mustangs almost beat the Sinton Pirates, I'm gonna go with Ingleside. Steve, who do you got?
This was my pick. I'm gonna take Devine.
This was your pick?
This was my pick.
Wow. I don't know about that one. Is this
Yeah.
that you want the 2 points for, or is that kind of pick? Johnny, who do you got?
I'm going Ingleside.
All righty. Gabriel.
I'm going Ingleside too.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were gonna go for Bandera on this one, Steve, because then I would have been surprised. We got a 91 Sinton taking on 64 Bandera. And this one I'm gonna take Sinton all the way. Steve, who do you got?
I got Sinton.
Johnny?
Sinton.
Gabriel.
Sinton, baby.
I didn't think there was any questions about that one. Next one we have Odom Owls. The 10-0 Odom Owls taking on the 4-6 Carson City. Sorry guys, I didn't get their mascots. Carson City. And this one I'm gonna take the undefeated Odom Owls. Johnny, who you got?
Odom.
Steve?
I'm taking Odom.
Gabriel?
Carson City Badgers.
You say Carson
No.
City?
That's their name. Carson City Badgers.
Little trickery, little play of words.
Taking Odom Owls.
Man, I almost wrote it down with my pen. I wouldn't have been able to erase it. Next game we have. This is gonna be a tough one right here, y'all. I'll tell you right now, this is gonna be a tough game. We got the 8-2 Taft Greyhounds taking on 7-3 Natalia. This ain't gonna be a walk in the park for either of these teams. I'm gonna stick with the Greyhounds, but it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a battle down there. Steve, who do you got?
I'm taking Taft.
Johnny, you better be real careful when you answer this, Johnny. Who do you got?
Trying to win a taco. I'm trying to win a taco, so I'm going with Taft.
Maybe with the first segment and this segment, maybe we don't know. Gabriel will let us know later. Gabriel,
I think the Z-Man's softening the heart of the people of Taft, but they're not very forgiving over there. They don't forget, man. When you choose, you gotta keep working it and working it. But I think Johnny's off to a good start tonight. I'm gonna go with the Taft Greyhounds.
I tell you what though, I was looking at some of Natalia's games. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough battle. I mean,
Yeah, they score some points.
Taft's had some tough battles with having to face Haverville and Odom, but Natalia's not gonna lay down for them, that's for sure. Okay, so this to me, this is the hardest game to pick from. Got the San Diego Vaqueros taking on the Orange Grove Bulldogs. This game could literally go either way. And I'm gonna let y'all pick first. I'm gonna go with you first, Steve. Who do you got?
What game are we on?
San Diego versus Orange Grove.
Oh, I got Orange Grove. All day.
Johnny,
I'm going with San Diego again.
Gabriel.
Going Vaquero, San Diego.
Man, I don't know. Cutter Stewart or San Diego. I think I'm gonna go. I think I don't think I'm gonna let. I don't think I'm gonna let Steve ride solo on this one.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna go with Cutter Stewart. I'm gonna go. Orange Grove. This is the toughest game for me to pick out of all these games. It's gonna be that one right there.
Did you pick Orange Grove because they beat Aransas Pass?
Yeah, they
Is that
whipped
why
Oh
you
them.
yeah.
picked them?
They whipped
No,
them
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that why? Is that
So
why you? Is that why you
that,
picking them?
that's why I'm
Is that
picking
what
them.
caught your eye?
Who's in Orange Grove's district for them to be a
Yeah, who did
third
impress
seed?
you? Who did they beat you? Who did they Orange Grove beat that impressed you to pick them over San Diego, a team that barely lost to another undefeated team in London?
Yes, give me.
I don't know.
No, I'm asking Tony.
I'm just I trust that that quarterback's gonna do something. That's what I think. I think he's gonna do something.
Do
Yeah,
some special.
he needs a team around him, T.
I just want who's in their district for them to be third seed. Who's in their district?
Maybe they're not as good as you thought they were.
Who's that?
Orange Grove. My internet's acting way up right now. I can't get nothing to come up.
Yeah, I'll give it to you right here, T. Okay. You want the lowdown? I'll give it to you.
Mhm.
Let me get to the app that tells it all to me. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah,
T,
mine's
hold on.
mine's a little slow too right now.
Oh, mine might be slow too. If y'all's is. Okay, Mira. You're talking about Orange Grove, right?
Huh? Is it Mathis?
Yep.
Is it Mathis? I think
Oh,
you're
so
talking
the
Mathis,
Ranzas.
Goliad, Edna. They lost 33-12 to Edna.
See, they almost beat
Industrial.
Edna. Oh, Industrial's another good
Palacios.
one. That's another good one.
Mhm,
That's a tough district. That's
mhm,
right. Aransas Pass, Industrial, Palacios, Goliad. Yep.
mhm,
That's a tough district.
mhm.
So I'm gonna go Orange Grove. I'm pretty
But
solid
they
on that pick.
lost, T. They lost. They
Next
lost
game
to
we had.
Okay,
What's
go
up?
ahead. You already made your decision. Go ahead.
We got the 9-0 London Pirates taking on 6-4 Goliad. I believe they're the Tigers. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and go London on this one. Steve, who do you got?
I'm taking London as well.
Alrighty, Johnny,
London.
Gabriel.
London.
Are you going with them just because they beat San Diego?
No, I'm kind of going with them because Los Tigres ain't what the damn this year.
We're talking about Goliad, not no one's from Corpus. Hilo. Nobody got that one? Okay. We got the 9-1 Cuero Gobblers taking on the Young Men's Leadership Academy. I don't think there's any question about what y'all think about this game because we already talked about playing them in the second round. But maybe y'all change y'all's mind. Steve, who do you got?
Who we picking?
Cuero Young
I,
Men's Leadership
I
Academy.
got Quero.
Z,
I got Quero 63 points by half.
63 by half. Gabriel?
Quero.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I think four teams make the playoffs and two teams are really good and the other teams, well, they just got to put them in because they won a couple of games and this is one of those games that I think is going on there.
Yeah,
Uh,
why admit they beat teams that haven't won like in 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, I've
Well,
been keeping up with that. That was the district I said that. Yeah, won the
Austin
Western.
Achieve. They rather had Austin Achieve or whatever the heck.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
weird, some weird names.
that one.
It was Wimberley, Navarro, and then all those other schools.
Yeah,
Uh, next game we have Smithville, 7-3 Smithville taking on 7-2 Navarro. Uh, I'm gonna take Navarro on this game. Steve, who do you got? Remember they
Mm,
lost. They lost to Port Lavaca. Just remember that.
yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Navarro,
Even if they lost to Port Lavaca.
even if they lost to Port Lavaca.
Johnny,
Navarro.
Gabriel.
Navarro.
All right. And next we have the 82 Wimberley Texans taking on 5-5 Navasota. I'm gonna take Wimberley on this one. Johnny, who do you got?
Let me look at something first. Go on.
All right. Steve, who do you got?
Man, I want to pick Navasota here, man. Put the heebie-jeebies on Wimberley. And Wimberley, they're not quite the team that they've been in the past, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They almost got blanked by got blanked by Cuero. 21-3.
Yeah. But I mean, Coro went on to have a great season, though. That was early in the season. Gosh, I'm gonna go Wimberley, man, just because I want to see them in the second round. Not us, but somebody from. Well, hell, if I
They'll be
got
playing Ingleside. They'll be playing
well,
Ingleside.
if I got Ingleside losing, that killed that noise right there. Shit. Okay, well, whatever. I'm going with Wimberley.
All right. Gabriel, while Johnny looks at his stats, my internet's still not working on my phone. I don't know what's going on. Who do you got, Gabriel?
Wimberley.
Well, is this an upset pick for you, Johnny?
No upset pick, but I wanted to look at Wimberley's defense. They're doing a hell of a job on defense. Only giving up 10 points, 10.3 points a game. A few shutouts here and there. The biggest shutout was against Navarro. Keep in mind, Wimberley's quarterback's out with a broken arm. That's why I had to look under Wimberley's defense if I was going to be confident with their defense. So their defense looks pretty goddamn strong. So I'm going to go with Wimberley. I don't know how far they'll get without a quarterback.
Oh,
Hey.
things just got interesting with Ingleside that they win against Wimberley.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm looking at.
I didn't know that stat, man. I want to flip my pick. I'm gonna
Because-
take Navasota.
You got Navasota?
Yeah, I want to take Navasota. I didn't know that the quarterback went out.
I'll tell you what, guys. If Wimberley and Ingleside meet in round 2, just saying, Ingleside's strong point is defense. Wimberley don't have one of their best players that moves that offense. Oh. But we've seen Wimberley before. That second string quarterback can come in and do a lot. We've seen that before when we played Wimberley. So he might not have number 1, but that number 2 is not too far behind. So we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what. I'm looking
That
at
guy
the
could have
teams that.
cycled out. That backup that we saw from Wimberley. It's possible that he's gone.
Maybe. Next man up. Tony, are you thinking about changing your mind too? Now you want to go Navasota too?
And Navasota played against some tough teams. I mean, they played against Yoakum, and Yoakum's ranked in the 3A division, and they lost 28-20. It was a close game. I mean, they barely lost to Sealy. Sealy's another one of the teams that's always up there. Cuero, they scored 14 on Cuero. That's like scoring 30 points on a regular team.
But how many did Cuero score on Navasota?
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Navasota. It's 55-14.
There you go. They scored 14, but that defense ain't worth a damn. So
We'll see. We shall see.
are you okay? Are you taking that episode over? Are you taking that episode?
No, I
No,
got
no.
Wimberley. I'm just trying to make
Okay.
Steve feel
Oh.
better about his changing his
Okay.
mind.
Okay. I think you're gonna change.
Hey.
All right.
Their backup quarterback's a freshman. They've just moved him up. Damn, and they're playing at Wimberley. God damn it, Steve. Fucking look at this shit.
There was say who was
Hey,
who was their
but don't they throw, Steve? They throw a lot over there in Wembley. So these guys, I mean, I know they're young, but they're not like green. These motherfuckers can play, man.
Yeah, no,
I don't
I'm
know.
just kidding. I'm
see,
just kidding
look,
about the backup quarterback, man. I was only joking.
nah, check it
That
out. Check it
freshman?
out. They've already tried out 3 guys. Well, it was like they've been changing quarterbacks all season. They got one quarterback got 9 games played, another quarterback got 7 games played, one quarterback got 10 games played, another quarterback got 4 games played. The one with 9 games played has the
That-
most attempts.
Yeah, so I
That's
don't even
right.
know which one's which.
That's why I'm saying
Who's
they've
starting?
got some guys. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. They've got multiple guys down there. Wembley's a passing team, guys.
Yeah.
I
Only
saw
one of
how
them.
they
Only
scored 66 points on their last game.
I'm telling you, man, they got some quarterbacks down there. It's not just one and you're out.
one of them's got over 1,000 yards, but they don't
Dude,
have.
that's
They don't have.
sad. That's sad.
They don't have a.
Unless-
They don't have a. They don't have a strong running back either. I mean, they got a guy who rushed for 102 carries for 600 yards. I mean, 670 yards. It's not a whole lot. So I don't know. It's
But
passing.
there's three of us. There's 3 of us sticking with Wembley, and Steve used to go with Arizona because you can still change it.
I mean, Navasota could win this game.
No, I've already swapped, man. I'm a ride with Navasota.
Upset pick 2
Uh-huh.
points.
Upset pick, 2 points, baby.
I don't think that's happening.
Alrighty.
But we shall see.
So we got 2 more games. We got 4-4 Bishop Badgers taking on Edna. I'm gonna take Edna just because they scored what I say 37 points on Refugio. That's like winning state in 1A. Johnny, who you got?
I don't know why I picked Bishop, but I'll go with Edna.
Nah, you pick Bishop. That's cool. Don't jump on my bandwagon. Steve, who you got, Steve?
Edna.
You're not gonna go with your
No, my compadre's alma mater. No.
Alright. Hopefully he's not watching.
He might.
Gabriel? All right, and I think this is the game that I saw on your list. We got 64 Canyon Lake taking on 72 Bernie. Is that correct? That was on your list?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a game that could go either way for me. But I'm gonna have to go Bernie on this one, even though I think Canyon Lake will win this game. Steve, who you got?
Bernie.
Johnny?
I'm going with Canyon Lake's offense. So Canyon Lake.
Gabriel?
Bernie.
Ooh, everybody gets you on that one.
Oh,
Hey, I gotta go with the team that beat GP. If I think that GP is doing some big things and that team beat GP, I gotta go with that team. That's why I picked them. So that completes the preview for week 12 or week 1 of the playoffs, however you want to look at it. Again, Rockport is taking on the Hondo Isles, and I know we're not having a separate session for them, so I'm just gonna shout out to Rockport and wish them all the luck and all the teams in our district, Sinton, Port Isabel, and Ingleside. You know, I picked all of them to win this week. So good luck to all of them, but especially good luck to the Rockport-Fulton Pirates. Steve, you got anything to close out with?
Man, not much, guys, but man, we covered a lot today, man. I think I think we're doing awesome, bringing a lot of information to the public. You know what, I want to say to the public, I want to make a mass appeal, man. Continue to spread the word, like, share, press subscribe, whatever it is that you got to do. We're trying to grow, we're trying to get better at what we do, and I hope we're entertaining and bringing up some good information for you guys. Even if you're just a modest football care about it or what have you. Hopefully we've been informative to you guys, and keep tuning in, and like I said, share and like and subscribe, whatever it is that we got to do to help us continue to grow.
Johnny.
Oh, hey, it's brand new season. That's all I got to say. It's 0-0. Don't matter what your overall record was, 10-0, 2-8. It's a brand new season. Anything can go. It always happens. After this week, each division cuts in half. 64 goes down to 32 quick in one weekend. So teams will get eliminated. Hopefully we stay up kind of high with these games like this and expand on our state games around the area, not just the region 4. But I see a lot of our locals still making it the first round, so we'll probably still stick with this list. Not much added to it, I'm pretty sure, but this is gonna be a fun week. Good luck, and no respect for the Valley, by the way.
I think you're right. I think we probably need to start taking.
Port Isabel.
Except for Port Isabel, exactly. I think you're right, Johnny. I think we do need to start looking at some Region 3, because that's the semis. You got to face Region 3. So maybe it is a good idea to start taking a look. After this Region 4 cuts in half, split it with Region 3. You know what I mean? Some of the tougher games up there makes a lot of sense. Gabriel.
First of all, I think Johnny might have a better chance of getting back into Taft in the Valley. Better stick to Taft and not go anywhere near the Valley, because they know who he is. But I'll tell you that.
You can go to
Tony,
Port Isabel to the beach.
First, Tony, thank you very much for leading us. It's going to continue. We are going to go to the different regions. Probably starting next week, you'll see some teams there. As like Johnny said, it splits after this week. We're definitely going to be covering our area as long as our teams are in. They're definitely going to be there, and then we're going to continue to expand over to the other regions. But we're going to be with you guys all the way to the championship games up in Dallas. It's been a lot of fun this year, and even when that happens, the Gridiron we're still going to continue with the Gridiron. We're going to be looking into bringing in some players that are football players that are going to be going over to play college. We're going to be trying to get a hold of them and their coaches, see if we can get them on and talk to them. We're also going to be in tune, I think around February or March, we talk about the realignment. So that's going to give us some things to talk about. We're going to be in touch, bringing you updates and news as to what's going on with the realignments. There may be some teams that are going to change. So the realignment happens this year. So we're going to be talking about that too. And then, of course, we get into the summer. And then, we're going to be talking to some of the coaches that we had on, trying to invite them back after maybe a month or two after the season to bring back put some closure to the season. And then what do they have to look forward to? So there's still going to be a lot of Gridiron 64, even after the championship games are played in Dallas. So tune into that. Plus, we also got the GT Sports Unlimited, where we talk basketball around the Coastal Bend area, softball, baseball. We'll do powerlifting, soccer. So it's going to be a lot going on. And of course, we still got the Pirates Cove, where we cover that every Wednesday. So it's going to be a lot for us. It's going on, but the Gridiron 64 is going to continue for at least through the summer. So I'm excited about that and seeing how far we can go and keeping it going and preparing ourselves and getting better for next year, because this year we did really good, but by next year we should be a lot better with our commentating. That we've been able to run some commercials, so we should be doing a lot more, and I'm hoping that that's going to happen by next year. But guys, thank you very much. I want to thank Ace Cyber, Rockport-Fulton's quarterback. We had him on. he came in and he did a little interview with us before the big game tomorrow. So I want to thank Ace for taking some time. I know he has a busy schedule, but he was able to come out and do a little Q&A with us. So thank you to Ace. Thank you to Coach Busak that we had on yesterday here coming in and interviewing, and also Coach Hunter Hamrick from Ingleside. We want to wish him luck as well. We had him on Tuesday. Want to wish him luck as they play the first round. So guys, thank you very much. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say, but if you do not, go ahead, T.
Oh yeah, I forgot the records after the regular season. So I did the math. We previewed 98 games. 98. So in 98 games, Gabriel got first place, picking 78 wins and 20 losses. I got second place with 73 wins and 25 losses. Steve jumped up to number 3 with 66 wins and 32 losses. And
Recount.
Johnny, you had a lot of, I don't know if you had a lot of upset picks or what for last week, but you only got 10 out of 16 games, so that's what brought you down.
Oh,
Oh, wait up.
no, that's Steve.
No, 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 no,
You're
no,
reading
no, no, no.
Steve, Papa.
Recount.
Oh, I don't want to
Johnny,
hear that,
Johnny,
man.
Johnny is 67 and 31, and Steve is 66 and 32. So
Yeah, that's
you
bull,
had too
man.
many upset picks the week before. Then you try to do it again this week, so that pulled you back a little
I
bit.
don't accept that vote. I'm gonna
I was
pull a
looking
So
like you
Donald
was
Trump.
layoff this
I'm gonna
week.
pull a Donald Trump. I don't accept it. I don't recognize it. No. Hey,
yeah,
listen. Are you done talking? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah,
Finish.
that's it. I owed that to the community.
Yeah, no doubt. And last place. It's all good. Hey, listen, real quick, guys. So as Gabriel said earlier in the podcast, GT Sports will be streaming the game live tomorrow in Lavernia against playing against Hondo. There's a post that he put on his page where he's trying to raise funds for the to pay for the live stream. He was able to pull some strings and work something out with somebody somehow. We don't know all the details on how he was able to do it or what all happened, but we're going to be there. If he says it's a go, we're going to be there to stream the game live. So if you can, and if you guys, if you know Jamie McAllister, you can go to his Facebook page and check it out. And I'll get with Gabriel, see if he's going to get Gabriel to share it. I don't know if he wants to share it to any of our Facebook pages, but we'll see how that works out. But anywho, he's trying to drum up some cash to pay for the streaming rights. So you guys, reach out. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody that knows them and help us out. Throw some paper this way. It'll help a lot of families that can't make that road trip out there. And we'll be streaming the game live and commentating the game live. So that'd be really cool. So keep your eyes out for that post and do what you can.
Yeah, guys, we'll keep you posted. I don't know much. Right before I came on the podcast, I came on at 5:00. I do another podcast, and Jamie McAllister just gave me a call, and he just said we're on. So I don't really know the details, and it's kind of late to call him now. But I know we'll get together tomorrow. I know we're going to meet up kind of early up in Lavernia, and I'll get the details. All I know, guys, is that he's we'll go, and I'll find out the rest of the details. But tune into the Pirates Cove or actually GT Sports Facebook and Twitter page, and we'll give you the information. Jamie will post stuff up. He posts whatever he'll post up on his personal page. He'll also share it over to the Pirates Cove and the GT Sports. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do it. All I know is that he gave me the text today. Actually, I talked to him. He said that we were a go. So that's all I know. So as far as I know, we'll be there tomorrow. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know. But as far as I know, guys, We will be going lives, and I think we'll be commentating, Steve and I. So I'm looking forward to that, guys, and I'll give you more details as I find out more information tomorrow from Jamie. So, guys, thank you very much, man. I know you guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow in Lavernia. Good luck to the Rockport-Fulton Pirates and to all the teams in our district. Like Johnny said, hopefully all 4 teams from our district will come out. I know I picked against Port Isabel, against Carrizo Springs, but if they win, it wouldn't disappoint me at all. And as we go into week 2, we'll be back next Monday, and we'll break down, of course, week 1. Tony will break down preview. We'll break down week 1 and then preview week 2. So look for. I don't know if we'll have 20 games or 22 games like we did this week. It might be cut shorter, but maybe about 15, 16 or somewhere around there. But be looking next week to have teams on the Gridiron 64 that we have never talked about. And I'll try to get that out to you guys this weekend as soon as I find out, to give you guys at least a little bit of time to do a little bit of research when we come on. I don't know if Max Preps gets all the stats, but we'll do the best we can with what we've got. But until Monday, guys, or I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, man. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at the game.
Recount.